Okay, so hello everyone. So our today's topic is the slope-intercept form. Okay, so we will actually talking about some of the important information first. As I already mentioned in the previous video, right? So we actually talking about the standard form, of a line is actually equal to ax plus by equal to c, right? So here we want to talking about the slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, so the definition is over here. So here the dimension, what it basically say is that we have an equation of the line, and then we know the slope m. Okay, so we know the slope m, and we also know the y-intercept 0b. Okay, so as long as we knowing those two key information, then we are able to define the equation. Okay, so that's the meaning of it. So the form over here, this form will be the slope-intercept form. Okay, so this form will be the slope-intercept form. So try to memorize this form. Okay, so this because that's how you actually distinguish between the standard form and the slope-intercept form. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically all the really important information. So now let's actually drop into some question. Okay, so this section is actually is not really difficult. Okay, so I think I only got 4 questions over here. Yeah, so I think I only got 4 questions over here. So now is the time for you to actually skip. If you feel like some questions are easy for you, then feel free to skip it. Okay, feel free to skip it. Otherwise, I will fully talking about those questions in detail. Okay. So now let's move into the first kind of question. Okay, so here the question say is that we want to find the slope and the y-intercept of the line. Okay, so that's basically it is. We want to find the slope and the y-intercept of the given equation below, right? So basically the form of the slope. Okay, so let me actually rewrite it. So over here, the easy way is we're using the slope-intercept of the form to actually find the slope and the y-intercept. As we all know, this is actually the slope, right? And how you actually find the y-intercept is the y-intercept, you just basically let x equal to 0, right? So that's basically how you actually find the y-intercept, right? So you basically let x equal to 0. Okay, so here the thing is that you want to make sure it is in that format. You want to make sure that it is in the slope-intercept format. Okay, because if it is a different format, then it just may not apply on it, right? So that's why when you're looking at the equation over here, you want to make sure it is in the slope-intercept format, and you can see for the first question it's already in the slope-intercept format. So the number over here is actually equal to the slope, right? So the number over here we know that the slope m is actually equal to negative 3/5, right? Okay, Okay, and now we want to find the y-intercept. As I mentioned before, y-intercept is actually letting x equal to 0, right? So you can see, y-intercept, to write it down, the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, you basically setting x equal to 0, right? So y is actually equal to -2, right? So just image by yourself, okay? So you plugging 0, into this equation, right? Into this equation, you're plugging x equal to 0 into this equation, and y is -2, right? So now, now we finish. Now we find both slope and then y-intercept, and then question 1 is done. Okay. Okay. So now let's move to the second question. Okay. As I mentioned before, you always want to make sure it is in this kind of form, the slope-intercept form, right? Cause if the slope-intercept form, right? Cause if you are in this form, you are able to finding the slope really easy, right? And you will be also finding, you will be you are also finding the y-intercept really easy, right? Okay. So let me actually mention the definition again. Okay. So the definition for the slope-intercept form is basically saying, this m is actually the slope, right? The slope, and the y-intercept, as in the definition, is actually 0b, right? It's actually 0b. Okay, so that's why that's why I say if you as long as you find it is in this kind of form, then you are able to finding the slope and the y-intercept right away, right? If you are in this form, right? So for here, for question 2, you can see it is actually not in the slope-intercept form, right? So you have to change it. Okay, so that basically the thing is you have to change it. Okay, so we are kind of like doing some operation over here, and then we basically want to change this this equation into the slope-intercept form, right? So now you can see what we have is -2/5x plus 2, right? So now after we change a little bit, you can see now this one, the one I put it on the rectangle, is actually in the slope-intercept form, right? And you can see m is basically -2/5, right? And then the y-intercept, as the definition tells us, is actually 0 and 2, right? Okay. Okay, so basically, you really want to make sure it is in the right format. Okay, you want to make sure it is in the right format. Otherwise, if you are in the wrong format, then you will getting the wrong scope, the wrong slope, and the wrong y-intercept. Okay. Okay, so let's move into the other part of the question. Okay, the other kind of the question. So here is kind of like a little bit different. Okay, so here, if you want to write the equation, so you want to write the equation. Okay, you want to find the equation of the line, right, with the given slope. So the slope is given and the y-intercept is also given, right? And then after that, we have to graphic each of the line. Okay, so that's basically like like a 2-step. First step, you need to find the equation, and the second step is we have to graphic the line. okay, by using the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so first thing, let's actually find the equation first. Okay, so so here we have been given a slope and we have been given a y-intercept. So you think you should be we have been given a slope and the y-intercept, so you know that the slope-intercept form will be the best way. The slope-intercept form will be our best equation to actually figure out the equation of the line, right? So the slope-intercept form is actually y equal to mx plus b, and over here we having a slope m equal to 5, so you know it's actually 5x, right? And then we're having a y-intercept which is 0 and -2, so it's 5x minus 2, right? Okay, so it's 5x minus 2. Okay, so you can actually test it by yourself, okay, because everyone know that, right? If you actually want to find the y-intercept, you just basically set x equal to 0, right? You just basically set x equal to 0. Okay. Okay, so now we find the equation of the line is actually y equal to 5x minus 2, right? So we complete the first step, right? So we already complete the first step, right? So now you actually want to graphic the line, right? You want to actually graphic the line, so I mentioned it many times. If you actually want to graphic a line, you need to graphic a line, right? So our next step is actually graphic a line, right? So if you want to graphic a line, you need to basically find 2 points, right? Basically to find 2 points to actually represent, to actually locate the line, right? And the most easy 2 point you can find is the x-intercept and the y-intercept, right? The x-intercept, for the x-intercept, you just basically setting y equal to 0, okay, and then it's -2. Sorry. Why is it good? Oh, it's actually wrong. Okay, sorry. So for the x-intercept, you setting you basically setting y equal to 0, right? So let me do the calculation over here. We're setting y equal to 0, and okay. Erase this part a little bit. 5x minus 2. So now we want to finding the x-intercept. Okay, we want to find the x-intercept by setting y equal to 0. Right, 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. 5x is actually equal to 2. Right, x equal to 2 over 5. Right, 2 over 5. So everyone knows that 2 over 5 is actually 0.4, right? 2 over 5 is actually 0.4. So you write it down 0.4. Okay, so let me actually write a little bit better like this. A little bit mess right now. 0.4. Okay, that's now we're finding the x-intercept. Okay, so now after we finding the x-intercept, we need to find the y-intercept by setting x equal to 0, right? So you want to finding the y-intercept, you basically setting x equal to 0, right? X equal to 0, then y is actually -2, right? X equal to 0, y is actually -2. So now you're finding both of the x-intercept and then y-intercept. You just so basically for now you just put those points on the graphic, right? So first thing we have to label it, right? So we maybe label 1 over here, and then 2 over here, and then 3 over here. And we want to label a little bit on the y-axis as well. Label a little bit -1 and then -2, right? So you can see our x-intercept is actually 0.40. The middle is 0.5. So suppose we have a point over here. Okay, it doesn't have to be really accuracy. Okay, it doesn't have to be really accuracy. As long as you are close, it is fine. So this point represents 0.40. Okay, so here our y-intercept is actually 0, -2. So it's right over here. Right, so this point is 0 and then -2. Okay. Okay, so now you're basically drawing a line between. It doesn't, as I said before, it doesn't have to be really accurate, but you need to at least show your understanding. Okay, so now we graphic the line, right? So the line is passing through 0.40 and then 0, -2. So that this line is actually represent y equal to 5x -2. Okay, so now we have complete this question. Okay, so now we basically complete this question. Okay, so now we basically complete this question. Okay, so let's move into the last question. Okay, so since this is the last question, pause the video and then try to doing this question by yourself. Okay, pause the video. Okay, so let's do the question again. Let's do the question together. Okay, so as you can see, as you can see over here, we having a slope equal to -3/4, and then we having a y-intercept. So based on those two information, you note that the best way to actually finding the equation is using the slope-intercept form, right? Using the slope-intercept form, right? The slope-intercept form is basically y equal to mx plus b, right? The slope is actually equal to -3/4x, and our y-intercept is 0 and 8, so it's +8, right? As I say before, the y-intercept is basically how you finding the y-intercept is basically set x equal to 0, right? So that's basically the way about how you actually finding the y-intercept. Okay. So now we already finding the equation. So this is the equation for the line what we need to graphic, right? So this is the equation for the line what we have to graphic. So our next step is actually graphic the line, right? Graphic the line. So as we as the same thing talking about that before, is in order to graphic the line we need to find 2 points, right? We need to find 2 points. The most easy 2 point the most easy 2 point what easily you can obtain is the x-intercept, right? X-intercept and then y-intercept. Sorry for the writing, some of the little bit missing. Okay, sorry. X-intercept and the y-intercept. Okay, so let me actually moving a little bit. So now what we want to find the x-intercept by setting y equal to 0, right? So we want to find the x-intercept. So we want to basically setting y equal to 0, right? So let me move into that part a little bit. Make it bigger. Okay, so how you actually finding the x-intercept? That's basically doing some calculation. You can doing those calculation in another blank paper. Okay, you can doing this calculation in another blank paper. You don't need to write everything down on your solution. Okay. Positive x equal to 8 multiplied by 3. Force x is basically 3. 40 is equal to 33/3. Okay, so 33. So our x-intercept is actually 32 over 3. Okay. Let me rewrite it. Okay, so let me actually checking the answer again. Let me actually check it. Okay, hopefully, hope everything is right. Okay, I think everything is right. And so for here, we can actually using the calculator to actually calculate out the value of it. So the value, the real number over here is actually 10.6, and it's going to continue on 6. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, the real value is 10.6, and 6 is always going to continue. Okay, so now we already find the x-intercept, and then we want to find the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is already given over here, so you don't even need to calculate. Y-intercept is 0 and 8, so just copy it down. Okay, so now we are ready to do some graphic. Okay, do some graphic. So we have to label first. So label it first. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and on the y-axis we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8. Okay, so let's actually find the y-intercept, the x-intercept first. The x-intercept, what we know is that the x-intercept is is 32 over 3. 32 over 3 is actually 10.6. It's somewhere around 10.6, right? So as I say, it doesn't have to be really accurate. Okay, 10.6. Between 10 and 11 is actually 10.5, right? So a little bit rightwards will be, the 10.6. So it doesn't have to be really accurate, but okay. So this point represent 32.3 and 32.30. Okay. So we find the x-intercept, and the y-intercept is actually 0 and 8. So it will be right over here, right? The y-intercept over here is 0, 8. So it will be there, right? Okay. So now what you have to do is you basically draw a line between those 2 points. Okay. As I say, it doesn't have to be really accurate. Okay, but you need to know, you need at least the graphic has to pass through those 2 points. Okay, the graphic have to pass in those 2 points. Okay, and then finally you label the graphic y equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 8x plus 8, and you finish the question. Okay, you finish the question. All right, and that will be enough to get all the points. If this question is in the exam, that will be you will be getting all the marks as long as you show all the details. Okay. So we in this section we're basically talking about the slope-intercept form. Okay, so it's really important. It's a different format of a line. Okay, it actually it is a different format of a line. All right. And we have been doing those questions, right? So we have been doing those questions to actually get familiar about how we actually finding the slope, how we actually applying the slope-intercept form, right? And then okay. So thank you guys to actually watching my video, and make sure you actually so make sure you actually subscribe to my channel. Okay, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you're still having any question, please leave a comment below. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and turn the notification on. Hopefully Hope you guys did learn something from this video. Okay, see you guys in the next video.